Hello students, in this lecture I am going to discuss DSDM, that is Dynamic System Development Model, and Agile Unified Process. Let us start with the first topic, that is the Dynamic Software Development Model, that is DSDM. It's an agile software development approach that provides a framework for building and maintaining systems which meet tight time constraint through the use of incremental prototyping in a controlled project environment. Also, the RAD, that is the Rapid Application Development approach to the software delivery, evolved in a fairly unstructured manner. It's a comprehensive foundation for planning, managing, executing and scaling agile process. The DSDM was developed to fill in some of the gaps in the RAD method by providing a framework which takes into the account the entire development cycle. As a result, the DSDM consortium was created and convened in 1994 with the goal of devising and promoting a common industry framework for rapid software delivery. Since the year 1994, the DSDM methodology has evolved and matured to provide comprehensive foundation for planning, managing, executing and scaling agile process and iterative software development projects. The DSDM is based on 9 key principles that basically evolved around business needs and values, active user involvement, empower teams, then frequent delivery, integrated testing, and stakeholders collaboration. So, the main feature of DSDM method are: first one, that is the basically we can say the user involvement, then the iterative and incremental development, increase delivery frequency, then integrated tests at end phase, then the acceptance of derived products depends directly on the fulfilling requirements. DSDM specifically calls out the fitness for business purpose as the primary criteria for delivery and the acceptance of a system, focusing on the useful 80% of the system that can be developed in 20% of time. The DSDM requirements are baselined at a high level early in the project. Rework is built into the process and all development changes must be reversible. The requirements are planned and delivered in short, fixed length time box, also referred to as iterations, and requirements for DSDM projects are prioritized using the Moscow rule, which is started as follows: like the M, that is the must have requirements, S is the should have if at all possible, C is the could have but not critical, and W, that is the would not have this time but potentially later. All critical work must be completed in DSDM project. It is also important that not every requirement in a project or time box is considered critical. Within each time box, less critical items are included so that if necessary, they can be removed to keep from impacting higher priority requirements on the schedule. The DSDM project framework is independent of and can be implemented in conjunction with other iterative methodologies such as the XP, that is the extreme programming, and RUP, that is the rational unified process. So the different phases are there in DSDM. Like first one, that is the feasibility study, second that is the business study, then functional model iteration, system design and build, and implementation. etc. Now you can see various phases present in the architecture of the DSDM, like the feasibility. Basically, it establishes the basic business requirements and constraints associated with the application to be built and then assesses whether the application is viable candidate for the DSDM process. It is about whether the proposed method can be applied or not, and thorough research is carried out to find out the existing problems. The business study, that is it is establishes the functional and information requirements that will allow the application to provide business value. It also defines the basic application architecture and identifies the maintainability requirements for the application. It is about acquiring a clear understanding of the business flow and how the businesses are related to each other. It involves identifying the stakeholders and those who are involved in the project. Then the second phase, basically, that is the functional model iteration. So the functional model iteration produces a set of incremental prototypes that demonstrates the functionality for the customer. It works on refining high level business information requirements and functions of system identified during the business study of the methodology. In this phase, risk has to be identified and recognize a plan on how to deal with risk for future developments. The outcome of the functional model iteration is the standard analysis model of the software. Then the system design and build, that is in this phase, revisits prototypes built during functional model iteration to ensure that each has been engineered in a manner that will be enable it to provide operational business value for end users. In this phase, the actual system is built based on the non-functional requirements carried out in a previous phase, and the built-in system is implemented in the next phase once the testing is done. Then the last phase, that is the implementation phase. It is the final phase in the methodology where the built-in system is moved into the production environment from the development environment. Implementation phase places the latest software increment and operationalized prototype into the operational environment. So all these are the different phases that are present in the DSDM. Now let's have a look at the advantages of DSDM. So the first advantage, that is DSDM provide a technique independent process and is flexible in terms of requirement evolution. Then the second one, that is the DSDM is designed from the ground up by business people. So the business value is identified and expected to be the highest priority deliverable. Hence we can say it's an flexible. Then the next one, that is it incorporates the stakeholders, because the DSDM incorporates the stakeholders into the development process. Then an emphasis is as DSDM on testing is so strong that at least one tester is expected to be on each project team, which improves software quality and performance. So testing is so strict. Here are some of the disadvantages of DSDM. So the first one, that is the DSDM focuses on RAD, which can lead to decrease in code robustness. It requires significant user involvement. Then the third one, that is the DSDM requires a skilled development team in both a business and technical areas. Now the next topic, that is the Agile Unified Process. The Agile Unified Process is a simplified version of Rational Unified Process developed by Scott Ambler. It describes a simple, easy to understand approach to developing business application software using the agile techniques and concepts, it still remaining true to the RUP, that is the Rational Unified Process. The AUP applies agile technique including the test driven development, agile modeling, so the agile change management and database refactoring to improve productivity. The AUP adopts a serial in the large and iterative in the small philosophy for building computer based systems. By adopting the classic UP phases activities like inception, elaboration, construction, and the transition. AUP provides a serial overlay, that is the linear sequence of software engineering activities that enables a team to visualize the overall process flow for a software project. However, within each of the activities, the team iterates to achieve agility and to deliver meaningful software increment to the end user as rapidly as possible. So, um, AUP has 7 disciplines. So, the first one, that is the model. So, understand the business of the organization, the problem domain being addressed by the project, and identify a viable solution to address the problem domain. Then the second one, that is the implementation. Second one, that is the implementation transforms models into executable code and perform a basic level of testing. In particular, unit testing means we are going to test each and every module individually, that is the unit testing. Then the testing, that is performs an objective evaluation to ensure quality. This includes finding defects, verifying that the system works as designed, and validating that the requirements are met. Then the next one, that is the deployment. Plan for the delivery of the system and to execute the plan to make the system available to end users. Then the next one, that is configuration management. Manage access to project artifacts. This includes not only tracking artifacts versions over time but also controlling and managing changes to them. Then the next one, that is the project management. Direct the activities that take place within the project. This includes managing risk, directing people, and coordinating with people and systems outside the scope of the project to be sure that it is delivered in time and within the budget. And the last factor, that is the environment. Support the rest of effort by ensuring that the proper process, guidance, and tools, that is the hardware, software, etc., are available for the team as needed. Thank you.